Hello everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Rob. You guys, welcome to the new year. I am going to, in this video, show you the tarot decks that I have not been able to use in the last year or so. Some of them are less than a year old, new for me. So either they just be new, or for a reason or another, I just haven't taken them out of the shelf, whether I haven't had time or whether I just haven't been able to connect with them. I just haven't been able to use them in the last year. And so in this new year, I have made a point of using these decks and try to connect with these decks because they are absolutely gorgeous and I like them all and I want to connect with them. But you know, I have a lot of decks in my collection, so sometimes it's kind of hard. Anyway, let's get started, you guys. My first deck, and by the way, we're not going to do this from number 5 to number 1 or vice versa. It's just a list of the 5 decks that I have not been able to use this past year that I have made a promise to use in this new year. So the first one is the Etela Tarot. This one is by Jean-Baptiste Aliette, and it comes in a box that breaks into two like this, and this is a really nice box, by the way. It's a hardcover box. This is what the back of the box looks like, and you guys, I got this. This is published in Nashville, it says here. View Monde Express. And you guys, I got this deck on Etsy, if I'm not mistaken. It was not cheap, by the way. This is an expensive deck. This is the booklet that it comes with, and this booklet is really, really thin, as you can see here. It just gives you the meaning of the cards, and really that is about it. So that's everything about that book. Now, these are the cards, you guys. They are not gilded. They are long, so if you're thinking of holding this deck like that, you're going to maybe have a hard time. When it comes to the size of the cards, they are sort of on the thinner side, and they are longer than your regular card, as you can see. So they are thin and long. The paper quality or the cardstock on this deck is really nothing to brag about, but it is sort of in between matte and in between shiny, and so they are really nice, actually. The cardstock quality is really not the best, but it is good enough, and so the printing is really nice on this deck, and I love the colors. This is the back of the card. They are reversible, by the way. I'm afraid you're going to have to shuffle it like this because they are just too long to hold as you would a regular deck. When it comes to spread, it spreads really beautiful, as you can see. Let's look at some of these cards. If you're familiar with this deck, you know what some of these images look like. The Etela Tarot. This one is Judgment. This one is Air. This is Justice. This is the 4 of Swords, or Solitude. So here you get the number of the card. Here you get a keyword. And here it gives you the name of the card, of course. So this one is the 6 of Cups. This one is the 7 of Cups. And so on and so forth, you guys. That's how it goes. This is the 4 of Wands. This is the 10 of Wands. This is the King of Swords. Here's the Page of Swords. Here's the Sun, which is what they picked for the cover of the box. This one is the Etela Tarot, and it's one of those decks that I haven't used in a while, or that I really never got to use. So with that being said, you guys, let's jump to the next deck. The next tarot deck on this list is the Game of Thrones House of the Dragons tarot deck and guidebook. You guys, this one is a beautiful deck. This one is Inside Editions, and of course is based on the TV show or the TV series. This box opens into 2. This is what the inside of the box looks like, and this is what's inside of the box. It comes with a nice book, by the way, and the book comes with pictures, and then it gives you the meaning of the major and minor arcana. It has a couple of spreads in here, and there we go. That is for the major arcana. It gives you a full page of a picture. And then for the minor arcana, you get a minor, sort of a smaller picture in there. And so that's really all that there is to this book. Nice book. It is about 125 pages. The presentation of this deck is really nice, you guys. That's one of the things that really attracted me to it. I think it's really special, and this is what the inside of the box looks like. I just absolutely love it. It resembles the skin of a dragon. And these are the cards. As you can see, they are totally reversible. So that's great if you read in reverse. Beautiful, aren't they? I really like them. Now, this cardstock is that rose petal. I absolutely love it. It is not the thin one. It is not the super thick one, but it is just the nice sort of thickness there. I think they're robust. I think they're going to hold really well. They are rose petals, so they are on the matte side of it. They are not gilded. When it comes to the size of the cards, you're going to see that they are pretty standard size, as you can see, exactly the same as this one. And when it comes to shuffling this deck, you're not going to have a problem. The cards are not that heavy, they are not that big, and they shuffle really, really well. I actually enjoy shuffling this deck. So it's pretty good. I just haven't been able to connect with this deck, you guys. They have peep cards in here. And so connecting with peep cards for the minor arcana has always been a little bit of a challenge for me. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been able to connect with this. But anyway, if you do a spread with this deck, it works pretty well. And let me show you what some of these images look like here, talking about peeps. This is the 6 of blades, which is the 6 of swords. This one is the king of, or the queen of crowns. And of course, they have different names for the elements. Knight of crowns. This one is the 7 of blades. This one is the 8 of blades. And here you have the 10 of dragons, king of tankards, queen of tankards. I really like the images. I love the colors. I love the way that the cards feel on my hands. I really like the frame on it. It looks like they've been carved. It looks like this is actually carved on wood and then painted. And so they look really, really beautiful. The Knight of Tankards. Tankards are cups, by the way. And so that's how they keep going, you guys. The Judgment, the World. I love the pictures and the colors on this deck. It's really, really nice. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to connect with this deck a bit more this new year, you guys. That is one of my goals for this year, is to connect with all of these decks. And that is the Page of Blades, by the way. So you guys, with that being said, let me show you my next deck. The next deck is the Folarcos Tarot by Carmen Sorrenti. And you guys, this deck I got about 3 months ago, and I haven't used it at all. I mean, at all. And I was doing a reading the other day, and I thought, let me take the Folarcos, but I haven't really had time to bond with it. So I felt a little bit insecure doing a reading with it because I haven't really been able to connect with it. So I thought, okay, let's take it. And then I picked it up and then I put it right back on the shelf because I didn't feel comfortable with it. So it is a beautiful deck, and like I said, I got it not too long ago. This is the box that it comes with. This is the back of the box, and you can read that if you like. It's just beautiful. This is the side of the box, and this is not an inexpensive deck, by the way. This is what the inside of the box looks like. This nice hardcover box. This is the book that comes with it, and it is a sort of a small book. It just gives you the meaning of the cards. It gives you a picture of the card, not on all of them, but some of them have pictures. And that's pretty much it for this little book. It gives you an introduction card. It gives you, this is the shop that I bought it from. This is the back of the card. You guys, these are not reversible. So if you read in reverse, this is going to give you a problem. I don't know that I'm connecting with this back. It's kind of interesting, but then at the same time, I don't really connect with it. I don't really understand this. And some of these images are also a bit confusing to me. I can say this is the three of spirals, which is the three of coins. She has different names for these cards, but let me show you. When it comes to size, they are bigger than your regular size, right? They're more like an oracle size card. When it comes to paper stock, this paper stock or this card stock is really not the best, you guys. So I think that's one of the things that keeps me away from this deck, is that I was expecting better card stock quality and I didn't really get that. They are sort of on the shiny side, but they're not totally shiny. So, but they're not matte either. So they're kind of in between. They're not gilded. When it comes to holding this deck, I don't think you're going to have a problem. Actually, this deck shuffles really, really nice. I like it. So shuffling this deck are really enjoyable. And I'm kind of like shuffling it with you guys for like one of the first times because I haven't used this deck at all. If you do a spread with this deck, it just spreads beautifully, as you can see. Let's look at some of these cards together. Let me show you what these cards look like. See, this is the 9 of sparks, the 8 of sparks, 7 of sparks, 6 of sparks. So as you can see, they're not even well mixed, because I think I was going to do a full review on this deck and I just never got around to it. So there is almost no reviews for any of the decks that I've shown you because I just haven't really gotten into them. This is the 9 of wings, which is the 9 of swords, as I can see. This is the tower. Isn't that beautiful? I really like that tower card. This is the devil, and this is a really scary card. This guy is eating like the brain of the girl here. So this is temperance, also not one of my favorites. I'm not in love with this deck. I never really connected with it. This is the strength. I don't know. I'm gonna make an effort to try to connect with this deck, because I'm not so sure that this is the hermit. I'm not so sure that I really like the images, but I am really, this is the lovers. I am really going to try to make an effort. And so you guys, that is the Pholarcos Tarot. And with that being said, let's jump to the next deck. The next deck is the Spirit Song Tarot by Paulina Cassidy, or Paulina Faye. And I'm a big fan of her work. I have many of her decks, but this one in particular is one that I got not too long ago. I actually did a full review of this deck on the channel, so if you want to take a look at the entire thing, it's there. This deck is absolutely whimsical. This deck has so much to look at, and if there's a couple of things that I can say about this deck in the comments that I've gotten from this video, this particular deck, is that people say that they love the deck, but they find it very difficult to work with. So, and I think that I can sort of say the same thing. It is not an easy deck to work with. The images are very, very beautiful, but not so easy to read for many different reasons. So let's look at this. And by the way, Paulina Cassidy's decks usually come in flimsy talk boxes, but this one did not. This one comes in a hard-covered box, and I'm so excited about that because I had never seen a Paulina Cassidy deck that came in this presentation, so I was very excited to see that. This is what the inside of the box looks like. This one is by US Game Systems. This is the back of the box, and if you want to read that, you can pause your device and take a read at that. The book is also very nice, by the way. It has that rose petal feeling to it. It has about 100 pages on it, and it gives you some spreads, and then it gives you the meanings of the major and minor arcana, and that's pretty much it for that book. Now look at these cards, you guys. I love the back of these cards. They are a bit larger than this particular card that I am comparing to, which is the Borderless edition. And so that already makes my day because they are a bit larger than your usual card. When it comes to cardstock, these are really not the best. A bit disappointing, but it is that regular or I shouldn't say regular, but it is very much that US game systems cardstock. I think you're going to find it very nice. They are reversible, so if you are wondering about that, they are not gilded. I would have loved to see a gilding on this, but they decided not to do that. When it comes to shuffling this deck, it shuffles really, really well. Really wonderful to shuffle this deck. And so I just haven't been able to use this deck so much because of the fact that it is a bit difficult to read with. I totally agree with everybody, but I just love Paulina's artwork. So I find her artwork to be absolutely gorgeous, different, creative, full of meaningful messages. This is the 8 of Acorns. And another thing, or another reason why people have not really found this deck very useful to do readings with, is because she has chosen to change, to name the arcanas and the minor arcanas and the major arcanas something else. And so that is one of the problems. This is the 8 of Acorns, energy results, King of Acorns. And here it gives you a couple of keywords. So if you find yourself a bit lost, read here, but still it's kind of difficult, right? Ace of Shells. Shells are cups. 2 of Shells. 3 of Shells. Another reason why people have found it hard to read with this deck is because they just don't see really the meaning of the card in the drawing. They don't correlate, is what a lot of people have been saying. So 8 of Crystals, dedication and progress. So crystals are coins, right? But if you don't read that, and if you just look at this, you wonder, what does this mean? And it's hard. It's hard. And a lot of the times people say, it just doesn't speak to me. I understand that. But still, it is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love the deck. This is the moon. And Shaman is this one, the number 5. And this is the sun. And I think it's beautiful. Look here, I pulled out the card that she chose for the cover. And this is number 8, the strength. And so on and so forth, you guys. That's how that deck goes. And I absolutely love this deck. And I'm a big fan of Paulina Cassidy. So I'm going to make sure that I use this deck a lot in the next 5 to 6 weeks. And with that being said, you guys, let me show you what the last deck on this particular list is. And the last deck on this list is the Dungeons and Dragons, you guys, tarot deck. Beautiful presentation, beautiful deck. I just haven't gotten into it. Really, I ordered it. I thought it was going to be a really nice deck. I'm not so pleased with it, but it still is a nice deck. Just can't seem to get into it. This is the presentation. The presentation is really nice. This is the back of the box, and so take a look at that. This is the side of the box. Pretty cool drawings, pretty cool cards. This is the book right here, and the book is rather thin, but it gives you a picture of the card, and then it gives you the meaning of the card. And this is how that book looks and reads. So pause your device and take a look at that. And I think you're going to find that useful. I don't find this book so useful, but whenever I get lost, I refer to it for the 1 or 2 times that I've used this deck. And let me show you what these cards look like. By the way, this is the inside of the box. Presentation is nice, like I said. And these are the cards. They are reversible. So if you do read in reverse, that is wonderful. They are not gilded. They are on that linen paper here that you probably seen many times. The surface of this cardstock looks like a canvas. So every time I see something that's printed on top of this paper, I always think that it looks like a painting, because it really does look like a painting. It gives you that sort of illusion. So I kind of like that. I'm not crazy about linen paper. I find it to be slippery, and I find it a bit hard to control, but it's okay. I mean, I don't really mind it. And if you want to know how big or small they are pretty much regular run-of-the-mill, as you can see there. They are not gilded. And if you want to shuffle this deck, they are a bit on the thicker side, so that might cause a little bit of a problem, but nevertheless I don't seem to have a problem shuffling this deck. It shuffles really well. It can be that they are a bit slippery, but if you do a spread with this deck, you see that it's really not that difficult and that it does hold well. Let me show you some of these images because they are pretty cool. 3 of intelligence, and you know, they changed the names. So once again, if maybe that is one of the reasons why I really haven't gotten into it, because as soon as I see that they change the names of the major and minor arcana, it's not that I don't like it, but it automatically makes me say, oh, okay, put it there and then we'll try to learn it another time. And so I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't used this deck at all. This is the 5 of strength. This is the 9 of intelligence, the 7 of intelligence. But they are pretty cool images. I haven't been able to connect with this deck at all, you guys. And I don't know, honestly, if I'm going to be able to connect with this. I will try, and that's why I put it on this list. But it looks kind of like it's going to be one of those decks that I think eventually I will sort of give up on. But I haven't given up on it yet, so let's hope that I connect with it. And one of my next videos is going to be on the decks that I'm going to get rid of. I've been saying that for a little while, but I promise I will make that because there's a couple of decks, not a couple, more than a couple of decks that I definitely want to get rid of. So I'm going to be making a video out of those decks very soon. This is the King of Wisdom, and that's how this deck goes, you guys. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think. If you have any of these decks, I would love to know what your experience is with these decks, or if you like them or if you don't like them. Give me your feedback. I love to hear back from you. And as I always say, until the next time.